Hello everyone, Alzion the Great here. Welcome back to MLB The Show 22 with the Texas Rangers franchise. Last episode we obviously had opening day against the New York Yankees, which honestly went a lot better than I expected. Almost getting a win, with the 8 and 7 as you see the box score here. But in this episode today, I actually wanted to get on with the rest of the Yankee series and just see everyone's first starts from the rest of the rotation. Obviously, we saw opening day from Dane Dooning, but today we're going to see, John Gray, Kohe Arihara, everyone else. And John Gray is an interesting guy. I've actually watched Mr. Hurricanes franchise and seen him do really well, but he comes over after a bad year from Colorado, and we paid him quite a bit of money, and I'm not going to be trading him away. At least I don't intend on doing it now. And he'll get to start today. Obviously, after the amazing day Cole Calhoun had, I moved him up in the lineup, hoping, he gets that same production. As I'm going to be doing most of this episode and season from Quick Manage, as I just think it's easier to talk about the game while it happens. And, show you how I want to play the game, how I want the team to play the game. And also, I don't have to focus on editing a crap ton. As we see, not too much going on here. Anytime we get on base, by the way, I do want to go ahead and try and steal. I want to be an aggressive team on the base paths. Just try and take second, because we do have some guys with speed. Obviously, Solak, Tavares, as Semien hits a solo home run there to give us a 1-0 lead on Luis Severino, who is the opponent today. But yeah, hit and run is very good, or hit and run is something I like to do a lot. As John Gray into his third inning of work so far, doing pretty good as we pitch around Judge there. Just a little respect for how he's doing in real life. Probably won't. I didn't show any hitting, as Leody gets a walk, and I do want, if Leody Tavares gets on base, I want him to steal. That is no doubt, absolute. But John Gray so far, a couple of walks, only a hit so far. He's doing really good. We're getting some production off of Luis Severino as well. Calhoun gets a double. We score second run of the game there. Solak drives in Calhoun.
He's safe.
And
ball four, take your base.
Solak's still second. We're getting some production, but the runner gets thrown out there. And then I wanted to enter the game from here. It seemed like a good point heading into the top of the sixth. Usually when I'd start to think, especially if they're having a good day, okay, are we going to pull our pitcher, as Rortvit is the leader, the leadoff man in this inning, as John Gray gives him to an 0-2 count, does manage a nice backhand play there to stop the ball going up the middle, and that was the first out. Then the lineup turns over with IKF coming up, and Gray on the first pitch of the at-bat actually gets him to pop up. Corey Seager runs back and collects that one, meaning now he gets to face the guy who did so much damage with 2 outs on opening day, DJ LeMahieu. He also does more damage here as he hits a ball down the left field line, and he will sprint for second, and the throw is just not in time, which will bring up Giancarlo Stanton, who is already 1 for 2 on the day. He gets into a 2-1 count here, and Gray does manage to get a fastball by him, ends up getting to a 3-2 count later, and slider misses high inside. The Stanton shows incredible discipline, and that will bring in Aaron Judge. Big moment in the game. John Gray potentially getting tired, runners on base with 2 outs, 2-2 count for Judge. He hits it to first base. Lowe makes the play, and John Gray gets out of the inning there. So a great start for him regardless of how the rest of the game goes, as we want to see if Leody can lead off the next inning. As we get back into quick sim here, he strikes out. Lowe gets a walk. But yeah, I'm really hoping John Gray can be really key for us this year, as decide to make a pitching change in this inning, as I believe I had to pause the game for a little bit and decide who to eventually put in, since I was legitimately just stumped. I ended up deciding putting in Brett Martin. He hasn't pitched this year, so good to see how he does as he gets Gleyber Torres, gets the next batter. As Zach Britton had come in for the Yankees. Adolis Garcia hits a solo home run. So now we're up 4-0. As Brett Martin continues pitching. Pitching to contact mainly. Stanton gets a single. Then once again I had another minor conundrum deciding which pitcher to put in between King and Richards. I believe I ended up going with Richards just because righty-righty. Didn't want to give, Aaron Judge the shot against the lefty, and he ended up flying out. So that ended up working as we get the hold pitching change for the Yanks. As Garver gets on base and Tavares gets on base, he steals second. He's going to be doing that a lot if he gets on base this season. But now we're top 9. Wanted to put in Joe Barlow for his first real opportunity of the season. As he walks Donaldson, gets a line out, and a fly out, and then a ground out, and the Yankees lose, and the Rangers get their first win on the season, and it's a good win. Surprisingly, we beat the Yankees. I had to admit I was not entirely expecting that, for the pure reason that they were the Yankees, and I didn't entirely know if we could trust anyone on our pitching staff, although I'd say the most trustable person on that pitching staff would have been John Gray. As we see the game in review here, the next starter on the list was Kohe Arihara. He played for Texas last year, did not do very well. He's actually still well under contract and only 29, having a couple renewables left, but wanted to see him against the Yankees. I do like people from overseas in Asia, although Shohei is not entirely best guys. He got into a little trouble to start, but he gets out of it. Lowe hits a solo home run off of Jameson Taillon, and once again we're off to a fast start against the Yankees. As Kohe was allowing a little bit more hits than I liked, as he gets through the second inning as well. But I wasn't entirely shocked at this point in the game. Besides the fact that, we were pitching super well against the Yankees. But yeah, wanted to get in here in the top of the fourth. It's Judge and Arihara, and it just seemed like a fitting opponent to start the inning, as Arihara starts him off with a high strike, gets him to 0-2, and actually strikes out Judge on 3 pitches with the low and outside slider. Brings up Josh Donaldson, who rips one to short. Seager tried to make a play, but couldn't get it. I think Donaldson is quickly becoming our worst enemy against the Yankees. As here comes another superstar, Anthony Rizzo. Comes in 1-2 count. Perfect contact as he hits it deep to right field, probably deepest part of right field, and hits it over the fence for his first home run of the season. Not the start Arihara wanted, or at least not the part of the start Arihara wanted us to see, as now the Rangers are down 2-1. As Gleyber Torres, the next batter, responds with a strikeout, so do like the response. This will bring up the former Ranger, obviously, Joey Gallo. As Arihara on the second pitch of this at-bat to Gallo against the shift, which is a rare hit for Gallo. It's the only reason I really included the at-bat at all. Wortvit was the next batter, and on the first pitch, he hits a ball deep to right field, but not deep enough, as Calhoun puts that one away. So now the question was, how would the Texas hitters respond? Well, Semien hits a double. Consider bunting with Seager, but he hits a double, so we've tied up the game. Then Adolis Garcia with a single, and then a hit and run puts him on third. And then I actually wanted to get in the game here, not so I could take a swing with Brad Miller, but actually so I could steal with Nick Solak, and because I wanted to do this manually, and there is no way to do it manually. Unfortunately, does not work there, as Solak is thrown out, and we now have 2 outs with a runner on third. But still, I said I wanted to be aggressive on the base paths. Doesn't end up in a ground out, which might have gotten us a run, but obviously don't know where it is. But Arihara looks like he responded well to the 2-run home run, and the offense is still there. Decided to bunt with Leote, which might be something I do quite a bit. As we get bases loaded against Jameson Taillon, he walks in a run. Adolis Garcia hits a single, and then they bring in Joely Rodriguez, who we saw on opening day. He gets the fly out, but the Rangers are up 3-2 now. Swap pitchers. Did I bring in Patton? I honestly forget who I did. Yes, I did. Okay. Brought in Spencer Patton. He comes in, gets a double play, and a fly out pretty quickly for him. Then Brad Miller hits a solo home run, extending the lead. As something that surprised me the most is how well our hitting was doing. And once again, entered the game here. Not swinging with Seager. I just want Semien to steal a base. But yeah, I was really impressed with the hitting against the Yankees in the series, especially considering, the pitching that this team and all the superstars that they've put together. I think this series was a pretty good start to the season. Just in general, just these first 2 games. Seager ends up walking, and now it's bases loaded for Calhoun again. Fielder's choice, though, ends that threat. And then, unfortunately, IKF drives in a run there, but it didn't matter. Loizaga comes in the bottom of the 7th. Once again, surprising. Adolis Garcia hits another solo home run, as it's now 7-3, and we're responding very well. I also wanted to bring in Colby Allard, I think, for the first time, although it wasn't the situation that made really the sense there. I didn't want to bring in a lefty against 3 righties, so I brought in Josh Spores. Ends up walking Stanton, but he gets Judge out, and then Donaldson hurts us again, a 2-run home run. And then a walk to Rizzo, gets a strikeout, Gallo gets a hit, and then I was like, okay, I'm done. Garrett Richards comes in, gets a K, and we hold on to our lead as Zach Britton comes in for the Yankees. Bring in Joe Barlow, looking for his first save opportunity. IKF gets a single, steals a base, a fly out and a sac fly. Beautiful baseball by the Yankees there. But unfortunately, Judge does not hit a home run, and the Rangers beat the Yankees in the 3rd game of the season. Very impressed, although the relief pitching kind of got, a little bit scruffy towards the end. Spores did not have the best debut, or certainly not the debut I was looking for, as Kohe gets his first win as a Ranger this season. The next person I wanted to show you is Taylor Hearn, and there's going to be an interesting story with this game, because I was kind of excited for Taylor Hearn. Lefty, he's got decent potential. He's only 27. He could still do the stuff. Also, it was the first time we were facing a lefty as Jordan Montgomery was in. Andy Ibanez was supposed to be playing, but with how well Cole Calhoun was hitting, I decided to let Cole Calhoun play. Also, Jonah Heim was playing his first game at catcher as Mitch Garver needed a rest. So we get into game 1 here, and this is the situation I was talking about. Hearn gave up 2 singles in the top of the 1st, but I forgot to record the actual inning for him, but he did not give up another hit. And I don't think he walked anybody, but man, I was really happy after that first inning. But New York does get a run in the 2nd, and I just couldn't believe that I didn't record that inning once I started editing. I was like, you're actually kidding me. But yeah, I think Taylor Hearn, he had not the best start, but the first inning, getting out of that jam, was certainly pretty solid. As unfortunately, we got a rare double play from second there, as Higashioka was in for the Yankees. Love to see that. But heading into top of the 5th, it's still only 1-0. Hearn gets a couple of strikeouts, walks Stanton, and does manage to strike out Judge. And I think that's where I took him out, as we were doing pretty well hanging around, but the offense was a little bit lacking this game, as they did end up taking out Taylor Hearn for Colby Allard, as it was lefty-righty-lefty. I decided to bring in the guy I'm I've always seemed to have, I always seem to see Colby do really well, and I don't know why, but Colby Allard pretty much always does well whenever I do franchise, so excited to already have him here. Probably a little bit foolishly decided to keep him in for a second inning of play, but I tried some pickoff moves, ended up getting a fly out anyway, so it didn't matter. Jordan Montgomery still going into the 7th, 4 hits, no runs allowed. Decided to change out on Allard here. Went with John King to try and get this hold, keep New York to nothing, and hopefully prevent any runs being scored as he does that there. Montgomery still going into the 8th as Heim gets a single. Debating whether to bunt with Leody Tavares or not, decided to swing. Didn't work. Don't know if it would have mattered, as John King stays in for his second inning, holds him again. Montgomery potentially looking for a complete game. Shutout, as we do get a single. Charlie Culberson in his first game on first. Was interested in pinch running, but I also noticed we don't have a ton of speed on the bench, which could be something I will look for, either during the season or in the off season. Decided to hit and run, but they actually brought in Luitge, and did not work on the hit and run there. So the Yankees get their win, and we split the series with the Yankees, which was, I'd say a success. I'm incredibly sorry that I didn't get Taylor Hearn's thing in here. I'll definitely try and get that up for a future episode. But here was the lineup changes after the first game. Obviously, Cole Calhoun now is everyday player. I think Adolis Garcia got moved up. And then the final start that I wanted to show today was Martin Perez. Now, he was more of a just kind of placeholder guy, kind of another lefty in the rotation that we had, and I just, I didn't really have anything. Probably Jack Leader takes over his spot next season. Also, this was the first game against the Miami Marlins, and obviously being a National League team and me having the setting on, or should I say off, for universal DH, we have to have our pitcher hit. As quick starts the first to the inning once again, as Adolis Garcia hits a solo home run. Get a couple runners on there, but we don't actually do anything. Martin Perez, first inning, goes well, as now we have the situation where we have to use our pitcher, and Lowe hits a 2-run home run. As we got a guy on base there. Martin Perez pitching pretty well, but then Nick Tropiano all of a sudden just gets put in the game because Perez got hurt. I didn't see how, obviously, because we were in quick sim, so I didn't entirely see how that happened. But the good news was our offense was at least producing a little bit. But now we're out our starting pitcher, and Nick Tropiano, a guy who pitched a lot on opening day but hasn't really pitched since then, is on there. As we had to deal with John Berti at first, and the Marlins having a lot of speed was really annoying me, and you'll see how that plays out later. As Tropiano, still on base, still pitching, into the 4th. As the goal here was, just survive pretty much with the lead we have. We do give up a run there. Eliezer Hernandez still pitching strong for the Marlins, as he gives up, or goes through 5 innings.
Your attention, please.
But Richard Bleer comes in. Offense kind of going cold, but Miller hits a solo home run. That gets everything going. Stolen base. Consider stealing third, and decided to make the executive decision to pinch hit Nick Tropiano. And ended up picking, I think, Ezekiel Duran, for his first appearance of the season. And his first swing, strikeout. And we have a position player on the mound, but we're not in that kind of situation, so definitely not going to leave Ezekiel on the mound. As put in Brett Martin again. as Anderson flies out. Wendell gets a single, and then another single from Stallings. They pinch hit, get a couple runs in there, so we're down to only a 1-run lead. Swap the pitcher to Anthony Bass, and so we respond there. The game is going pretty much really well, honestly, going through the game. A single from DeShields, then a single from Cooper. Decided to make a pitching change, and debating between just who to put in. I just need to figure out these guys. Put in Spencer Patton, and then he gets a walk, and now the bases are loaded with no outs and only a 2-run lead as we head into the game. Decent speed on third, which means for Spencer Patton, he has to deal with Brian Anderson, one of the better RBI guys in the league. Does get a pitch to hit and hits it into left field, which does get a run in, but the strong throw from left only keeps one in. Then the next batter, Joey Wendell, on the first pitch, liner to Seager, but no double play there. And then Jesus Sanchez comes in to hit. He has not, hit super well. He's 0 for 2 on the entire season. Gets a 1-2 count, strikes out. Big one from Patton. That meant a lot. But once again, I'm not controlling the team here. I was actually wanting to keep Patton in, but Garrett Richards is subbed in to pitch by the manager. So now we have a new pitcher against Jacob Stallings, who pops it up, slams his bat, and we get out of it using the 2 pitchers as we get there in the 7th. Facing Zach Pop, who has a pretty cool name, but unfortunate if you're facing a batter with Pop, as Garrett Richards is in there. Delino DeShields gets on first, hits a single. Cooper hits a single, but nothing comes of it. Then we're here in the top of the 9th trying to get more runs. Decided, once again, pitch hit for Richards. Bring in Charlie Culberson. He gets a ground out, and we do not get anything else there. Obviously, the option would be Joe Barlow here, bring in the closer. Then we pitch. Brian Anderson gets a single. They pinch run Jazz Chisholm, but we get him out at second. Then pinch hit. Joey Wendell is on base. Bases loaded once again for Joe Barlow this time. And I decided it would actually be kind of fun. Let's watch this at-bat. Obviously, I go to Team Select and go to the middle, so I'm not controlling anyone. But I wanted to watch let's see what Joe Barlow can do against John Berti. Bottom of the 9th, bases loaded, 2 outs. As the first pitch misses for a ball. And, I don't hope we get into too many high-pressure situations this season, as the strike is there from Joe Barlow. John Barlow. I don't know who John Barlow is. As Berti fouls off another pitch. 1-2, low slider. 2-2 pitch, called strike, high fastball. Berti doesn't like it, but it is in the zone, and the Rangers do indeed survive against the Marlins, stopping the comeback and getting their 3rd win on the season. And it's honestly an interesting situation. Obviously, you never hope your pitcher gets taken out very early, as we'll see what happened with Martin Perez just in a few minutes or seconds here, actually, as Tropiano gets his first win. And he'll have to be in the starting rotation for a little bit, as it seems like Perez got hit in the head, or I assume that's what happened. He'll go on the 15-day DL, or IL, I guess it's called in this. And, wanted to just look at the rotation and overall, because obviously I wanted Nick Tropiano to start, but didn't find a good spot for him. Now he will be forced to start, although he won't be pitching for a while. And then wanted to sim through Dane Duning's second start, just to, see what happened. And that's a lot of hits, or a lot of pitchers coming in, as Miami won 6-4 with 14 hits. But Semien hit another home run, probably a 3-run home run at that. But, we could not get the job done against Miami, and we're 1-1 in the series with them. And I actually wanted to keep going until I found, that AAA was requesting a lineup change, and I found out El Paso's season starts that day. So I was actually planning on making an episode for this, so I needed to fix everything's stat. As Cole Winn will get the AAA start, one of our top prospects in the organization. I also signed a couple of lefty pitchers. I think Luis Delgado is there, but yeah, we didn't have any lefties at AAA really. Yeah, and I couldn't put Cole Winn in there, so I'll probably have to auto that and change that later. But yeah, next episode will be the AAA start, and you'll see many of our top prospects like Josh Young, Yohel Pozo, who's hitting leadoff against lefties, by the way. I don't know if we're facing lefty. I hope we are. But my name is Elton the Great. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in AAA next time.